Are you constantly overwhelmed by life's demands? Maybe it feels like you finally finish a task at work or you finally finish cleaning your house and you feel exhausted because it feels like the whole thing is just going to start all over again and it feels like it never ends. And you just feel like you have so much on your plate and you can't get this to stop. It's just constant for you. If this is you, you're not alone. We're going to talk about why this happens and how to work with it today. I'm Emma Coble. I'm a counselor in Colorado and in Florida. And if you're a feminist woman who is needing help detaching from overwhelm, get in touch. So, um, if you feel like just the everyday tasks are too much, if you are exhausted at every turn, if it feels like you're just all you want to do is curl up in front of the TV constantly and kind of leave the world behind, this is a sign that you have probably been carrying too much for too long and your nervous system is overloaded to the point where it's shutting down. So, our nervous systems are indicators. Our nervous systems are brilliant because they help us react to what's going on around us in such a way to keep us safe. So, if there is a lion nearby who's going to attack us, our nervous system goes into fight or flight quickly and it activates all these hormonal and brain chemical things to get us moving so that we will either fight or flight in that situation to help us. However, there are some situations where our nervous system helps us freeze and even like play dead in order to keep us safe. So if we're out, um, you know, in if we're in a situation where there's very little food or water, for example, a very traumatic, unsafe situation, a lot of times our body will start to shut down other functions in order to keep us safe. So oftentimes when we've been in a fight or flight kind of activated state for a really long time, our body will shut things down and take us into just a frozen state in order to preserve resources and energy. And sometimes there's even a feeling of like your body is almost preparing for death in this situation because it needs to conserve everything that it has. That's how it feels. So, um, if you are feeling this way, this is a huge indication that there are parts of you that have been carrying way too much for too long. And even if it's not, even if you're watching this and thinking like, but I'm not really like doing that much, perhaps there has been an emotional or mental load or a part of you that has been critical of you or hard on you that's been here for a while. And that part might be exhausted. This also could be old wounds are resurfacing. Maybe there's old trauma that hasn't been healed that is being triggered perpetually, that is here. Um, I also want to just note that in our culture, women identifying people tend to carry a lot and do a lot of emotional labor that's not seen or acknowledged. So in our relationships, we tend to do a lot of supporting, a lot of listening, a lot of carrying an emotional burden. And that's often not seen. And we also carry a lot of cultural and societal pressures. Like we carry the constant pressure to look a certain way, to be accomplished, to be a perfect sister, mother, wife, whatever it is. And that is very exhausting. So, this could be affecting your mental health. You could feel anxious. You could feel depressed. You could feel in this overwhelmed state. You could just be constantly on edge. It might be affecting you physically. You might be really tense. You might be constantly like having sleep problems or digestive problems, or just your whole body might kind of hurt from everything you've been carrying. You might feel maxed out in your relationships, and it's harder to like stay present or feel truly connected in your relationships. And then you might feel really bad about yourself. Like you might feel like you're failing all the time and you're not measuring up. So, beneath all of this, there's often a part of us that feels like we're not measuring up. And this can often be a result of it being in a childhood where We felt that we weren't enough, and that if we didn't perform, achieve, whatever, we would not be accepted, we would not be loved in some way, our emotional needs would not be met. Um, there also might be kind of a younger part that felt like it might actually be unsafe if it didn't keep everything together. Um, so, in response to that, oftentimes there's a part of us that has tried to carry a lot. There's been this protective part that has tried to carry a lot so that things don't fall apart. So, what do we do about this? Well, trauma therapy and EMDR, IFS therapy as well, can be very, very helpful in healing these parts of us, and in helping them process and release old stories, old burdens that they're carrying. Um, but first, I would encourage you to pause and name what's happening. So, name it if you find yourself judging yourself for not being, doing, etc. enough. Um, and just acknowledge, like, a part of me feels really overwhelmed right now. This can help you shift out of that feeling. Um, Listen to what's underneath it. Listen to why this part feels it needs to run and achieve and do so much, what it's afraid would happen, what does it mean that it's worried about things falling apart, and what feels so scary about that. Um, and then the next is start to work on, like, strengthening your nervous system. So doing things that bring your nervous system back to baseline, like grounding exercises, yoga, the things that kind of give you back balance. And EMDR therapy can be great with this and helping you increase what's called your window of tolerance and feel able to tolerate more stressors. The next is, like, challenge the cultural script. So challenge the societal narrative that you need to be carrying it all, and that this is actually good, and that productivity is what we should all be aiming for all the time. Care for your younger parts. So offer some love, maybe fun, maybe rest and relaxation to these parts that are, they never really got to be a kid, perhaps. And then practice it being enough to not be perfect. Practice it being okay to just show up, to just be present, to sometimes do the bare minimum. And then if you're needing more help with this, trauma therapy can really assist you, and I would love to chat with you. Um, so I offer free consultations, and get in touch. Thanks.